Hey, welcome back to you. How the heck is everybody? It's good to see you on this Tuesday. It's good to be seen by you on this Tuesday. And I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful one. Maybe getting ready for Turkey Day, whether you're traveling, whether you're staying at home, whether, maybe it's just not something you do and you're just looking forward to the day to put your feet up and relax and just enjoy the silence. Whatever it is, I hope you're having a good one wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Now, quick reminder, there will be no live stream on Thursday. We will talk to Kyle about what, if anything, he wants to do. I don't know why I'm blessing you guys, but there you go. We'll talk to Kyle about what he wants to do tomorrow night as far as playing Traveler. I may be elbow deep in Turkey tomorrow, cleaning it and so on and etc., but we'll do something, I'm sure of it. But anyway, who am I to issue all these Thanksgiving edicts? Why, I am Bill Sylvie, the Dungeon Delver. Let me tell you something. If this is your first time stopping by, and it might be for some of you, please click that subscribe button, click that bell icon for notifications. It really, really helps the channel out with the metrics and all that happy jazz. So, with that said, let's get into it. Let's talk about tonight's topics. Hello, Damien, TJ, Jimmy, Invictus, all you folks out there in TV land. So one thing real quick before we get into tonight's topic. We have 3 sets of Warduke multi-pose 28 millimeter miniatures. They're in 3 separate poses. 3 sets of those are available for pre-order, for reservation. It's $30. You get 3 miniatures. That classic AD&D villain Warduke in a triumphant pose and 2 battle poses. If you're interested in that, drop me a line, bsylvie@gmail.com. It comes across in the crawl there. Drop me a line, put in the subject, Warduke reservation, and then in the body, tell me how many sets you want. There's only 3 left. And what your name and address is. So when they go to production, which won't happen until or unless all 10 sets are reserved, they will be printed, cured, cleaned up, shipped out, and then I will bill you. So if that's something you want, you let me know. Turkey cast sleep, it sure does. Although they tell me that the amount of tryptophan in turkey is no greater than it is in chicken or pork or anything else. And then what causes the crash is all the sugar you eat. Well, carbs, a lot of it in the form of sugar. I mean, there's dressing and mashed potatoes and corn and dinner rolls and, the crunchy fried onions on green bean casserole, and my mouth is watering at the very thought. But they say that's what it is. That's what it is. Ricky roasted a turkey for your friends last weekend. That sounds awesome. But anyway, Jack wants to know if we have a Discord. Do we have a Discord? I kind of pay attention to this thing from time to time. So if you want to join us on that Discord, there you go. You can follow that. Greetings, future watchers. That invite might not work for you. Okay? I'm just letting you know it expires in 7 days, and I've tried creating a permalink, but it doesn't keep the permalink either. So anyway, I'm just letting you know. That ain't me, that's Discord. So anyway, that's what I have as far as announcements on the miniature printing front and so on and whatnot and etc. But last night was just kind of an open goof around because, of course, we just finished talking about deities and demigods, right? We just finished talking about that classic book, and that took weeks to dive through. And not that it wasn't fun. It was fun. But it took us a while, right? It took us a long while to get that gone through. So we just kind of chilled last night because it's Thanksgiving weekend. Are you guys really going to pressure me for like hardcore content? You want me to go through Gary Gygax's toll receipts when he drove up and down expressways in the Midwest? Is that what you want? Am I just some kind of trivia machine to you people? Yes, the answer is yes. That's what I am to you. But I put it out there that amongst the junk you see around me, I am the Fred Sanford of RPG junk collection. In and amongst it, I possess a physical copy of Steve Jackson Games' Kung Fu 2100. It is a click case war game / board game style of game put out by Steve Jackson Games all the way back in 1980. And as the name implies, it is a karate or kung fu martial arts tabletop simulator. And so I asked one of you rapscallions, well, I asked all of you rapscallions, I said, the person who super chats at least $20 guarantees we will do a dive. I don't know how deep it'll get because, we're working on a limited time budget. 9:00 tonight, we're going to play first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons on live stream for you guys. Well, for the players and for me, but you guys can watch. But also, we'll do kind of a dive into Kung Fu 2100, and a big fan of this show. And he's a great guy. TJ, that is objectively correct. Thank you for pointing that out. A fan of the show and a good friend of mine donated huge stacks of RPG material to my library. And in and amongst it was Steve Jackson Games' 2019 re-release of all of their click case games from back in the day. I'm talking Ogre, Gev, Power Suit, Ogre expansions, Vampire, oh my gosh, what else? Car Wars expansions, Illuminati. I think the Fantasy Trip may be in there, but all of those early Steve Jackson games. Raid on Iran is in there because that's getting relevant again. But let's see. How about $20 total? I'm not sure. I'm missing something there. But anyway, in and amongst that was a re-release of Kung Fu 2100. We're going to unbox both classic from 1980 Kung Fu 2100, which we kind of did last night. Actually, we did it last night. But we're going to unbox both of these. We're going to look at them. We're going to check out some differences. We're going to talk about the rules a little bit. So, to stream the Kung Fu book. No, thank you. First of all, here, that goes up. Thank you very much, Ricky, for the super. But we've already got it. We've already got it. We're gonna. Speaking of books, I want to rant for just a second, not too long, because we're already 10 minutes in. Because 9 o'clock AD&D. Although if we go past it a little bit, that's fine. My players are patient people. I ordered a book from Amazon last night, and it arrived today. And apparently, Amazon gives 0 frogs. It's an art book. If you must know, it is the airbrush work of Hajime Soriyama. And yes, a great portion of it is not safe for showing you guys on stream. I mean, that's not demonetization. That is just straight up getting the stream yanked. But it's an art book. It is granted a smaller. It's not one of the big coffee table books that cost hundreds of dollars that he does, like Gynoids or Gynoids 2 or Naga, which now cost hundreds, plural of dollars, because they're out of print. But anyway, they threw it in a box, taped the box shut, and sent the box to me. This is what I got. I can't show you the book. This is everything. There's no packing. There's no padding. They didn't put it in a padded envelope. So the corners are crushed, and it's basically beaten to hell. And I'm not happy about that. So, Amazon, thanks for nothing. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. So, what is Kung Fu 2100? As the name implies, it takes place in the future. Not the past, not the present, in the future. And it is a martial arts themed tabletop or bench top or ground top, wherever you want to set it up. I'm not particular. Game. And I do have the desktop camera working. So let us take a look. This is what the original click case looked like. Pull that back a little bit. And you see it's about 3/4 of an inch thick, maybe half an inch. And on the back, it says, "For years, the Clone Masters have ruled the world. Their only foes are the Terminators." Now, this came out 4 years before Jim Cameron released the Terminator, so. And they are trained from birth in the martial arts. Now, you are a Terminator. Your mission: smash your way into the Clone Master's fortress, chop through his defenses, and destroy him forever. But his guards are many and loyal. Like you, they can kill with a single blow, and time is against you. So there's the premise. There's the premise of Kung Fu 2100. And we see on the back here, you can kind of see the text blurb. And it includes 112 counters in 3 colors, 16 by 21 rules sheet, 10 by 21 color map, extra CRT, that's combat resolution table, by the way, not cathode ray tube, and record sheets, Ziploc bag for counters, and pocket box. The game features a unique combat system to represent the various martial arts attacks, defenses, and weapons. For 1 or 2 players, playing time under 90 minutes. And it has art, if you're familiar with Battletech, the great Dennis Lobert, or Lobert, did some art in here. Also, interestingly, speaking of Dennis Sistar. Now, those of you who know AD&D, of course, know the druid spell. At least I think it's druid, maybe cleric. No, it's a druid spell. It's a high-level druid spell called Chariot of Sistar. All right? But that's a coincidence, at least as far as I know. I mean, there's a Brian Nystul, Nystul, who for years worked for FOSSA and for other companies. As far as I know, he did not work for TSR, but of course, Nystul's magic aura, which is a false magic aura you can at low level put on items to make people think that they're magic. So, yeah, just a couple of cases of life imitating art, imitating life there. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting. So let's go ahead. Now, here is the 2019 copy. Now, I did not follow the production of these very closely. I mean, I thought they were neat, but I didn't know that I would ever get a chance to play them. And these sort of came out before I even thought of doing the channel. And so, like, I had no burning desire to get replacement click games. Whenever I would feel a slight itch, I would take I would take a trip onto eBay, and lo and behold, I would see that intact, all pieces available click case games were north of $100. So when Steve Jackson Games did re-releases, rather than tamper with a collectibles market, they released them in these larger, thicker boxes. You can see here, by comparison, I'll bring the close-in view up again. Let's see. You can see this one is the original, and then this one is the 2019 re-release. And there's no do-its hanger. You can see, so you can't really hang that on a hook display at a store, which is fine. I mean, many was a time I would go into a store and I would see these relegated to a box or a browser or something, because this had merely worn off and snapped. And you're not going to have one of those in your house anyway. All right. I knew someone who would cut them off. He would literally he'd get home and he'd take his hobby knife and just slice those off. But anyway, without further ado, let's unbox, folks. This is it. Let us unbox. All right. So this has plastic lid here, and I'm going to show you guys the contents. I should have set the camera on the table up better, but I didn't. I'm lazy. So anyway, my green room is already filling up with players. Now there's one person there. Anyway, come on, open. Now, SJG did release these also. No, seriously, how the hell does this thing open? When they did the re-release, these were shrink wrapped, but I guess Volcano God just couldn't resist and decided to tuck straight in. This does not have tabs on the side. Is this a prank? No, there we go. Okay. Now, interestingly, so we get here. I'm going to show this to you guys. So here's the open box, and you can see, look at that, dice. They never included these before. So we get a little dice from SJG, or a little set of dice, and they both have the SJG Illuminati pyramid on it there. Illuminati confirmed. So we get a nice set of dice. That's a difference there. We get our counters baggie, also suitable for holding a microscopic space fleet. We have, I believe these are the same. Yes, we have our mat, we have our gaming mat, and our rules mat are both present. Anybody remember folding up a road map after taking a trip? Like you leave college and you drive to the beach or something, and you got a big AAA map. So they appear to, I think they did just combine them both in the same. That appears to be what they did. Yeah. So here's your battle map there, and then your rules. So I would guess if you're trying to learn this, you would have to cut this. You would have to cut this sheet, which is a shame. That is a shame. So that's everything on this page. And now let's look at our counter sheets, because we have some counters in here. And these are unpunched. These are yet unpunched. You don't get them punched. You got to do it yourself or cut them, as the case may be. So we have 2 sheets of counters here. And if you're not familiar with chit and grid or chit and hex war games, typically counters, if they're not meant to overlay extant counters or just be condition markers, they will have a series of numbers and letters, usually found in the corners, that indicate what each one is. See, Tech LC 4, Servant 4, and something that looks like bullets. So each set of those numbers can mean a special or particular thing. It can mean movement, defense, attack value, hit points, morale. That is endemic to all those types of games. So there you go. Sorry, I didn't realize you guys couldn't see those. So there you go. We have 2 easily punchable sheets. Now, interestingly, you also get a sheet you can cut. This is not punched. This is just a piece of cardstock. So if I were going to make a recommendation, what I would do is, if you had a game like this and you were worried about having enough counters or losing counters or whatever, I would take this bad boy to a copy shop and ask for a cardstock printout of this rather than cut this one apart. Get like 3 or 4, and then you've got a bunch. And for a game like Kung Fu 2100, you've probably got enough to last you both your and the game's entire lifetime until you shuffle off your mortal coil and it gets sold at an estate sale for $5. But anyway, so that's the contents of the old box. The leg up that you get is a set of dice, but then downvote, because your map, your battle mat, and your rules fold out are all the same sheet. So you almost immediately have to cut your map and stuff apart. But it does come in this nice click case. And you might wonder, other than the dice, which could probably fit in one of these, why the larger click case? So as I understand it, in addition to wanting to make the physical difference so they wouldn't tread on the toes of people who are actually trying to sell things in the used market. Greetings, Tonka. I hope you're feeling better, and the horse does too. They wanted to leave room for expansion materials, and there is more headroom in this box. So if you have more chits, if you have dice, heck, if you come up with some cool, you find some cool miniatures, you could probably stick them in here. But, it's entirely up to you. But as far as I know, and I could be wrong, somebody's probably fingering a copy of Space Gamer, Fantasy Gamer right now, waiting for me to step on my own shirt tail and say this. But as far as I know, there were no expansions to this. But it was the homogeneous approach of making it, they didn't want to go to the click case game company and say, make some of them this thick and some of them, chunky boys. They just got them all 1 inch thick. So that's what you get. And it looks like a VHS tape, doesn't it? And you just pop this in. And Kung Fu 2100 sounds like a movie you'd get like at the movie gallery or a mom and pop video place back in the 80s. So yeah, that is the contents of Kung Fu 2100, the re-release of Kung Fu 2100. Let us dip into, the original release, the 1980 release of Kung Fu 2100. Oh, and I should point out, as far as I am aware, unlike the Ziploc bag reissue back in 2014, 2015 of Ogre, the rules are identical between here and here. So you get exactly the same rules. So if these are the rules you know and love, I don't know of anyone who played this back in the day, but if those are the rules you know and love, and you bought this because your set is distressed and missing parts and you're excited to play and show it to your friends, it's everything you thought it would be. Everything you remembered it as being. Now, one thing I do want to say before we press ahead and look at the actual guts of this. This is not a role-playing game. It may bear some similarities to GURPS because Steve Jackson Games, but it is essentially a board war game. So don't get your hopes up that you're going to have, characters you can level and scenarios. There's just the fight in the dojo against the clone masters with your Terminators. So that said, let's take a look at what is in the old box. So we have some counters. I don't know if this is a complete set of counters or not. I haven't counted them. This set came from the Scott Rutter collection. I'm going to assume that is a darn near complete set of counters. And the reason is, over here on this shelf, we've looked at it before, I have Scott's Star Trek Fossa, the role-playing game from 80 or 81, whenever it came out. And it comes with like 204 counters. I counted those. There's 202. So Scott had that for 40 years, almost. And it kept nearly complete. Oh, Tonka, that's no good, brother. Get better. We miss you. So this may be all 96 counters or how many ever it was talking about, 114, whatever. Feels a little light, looks a little thin, so it may not be. But hey, if that's the case, we can make more. So let's look at what's involved here. And we've got about 30 minutes or so we're not going to... Now, one thing I've got to tell you, the print in this is tiny. It is tiny print. It is very difficult for me to read. I didn't leave my readers close enough for me to grab easily, so I'm going to have to lean up and pick those up in a second. But I'll show you guys as I kind of go over this. And I looked for a PDF. I should have scanned this. And in the future, for these click case games, at least for the rules, I will scan them so I can put them up on Still Store and show them to you guys, rather than you just watch me sit here and read like this. But I'll hold up the rules periodically, and we'll talk about that. So, see, here's our map. This is our play map for Kung Fu 2100. There's our play area. And it's always the same. There's no scenario design or anything like that. And there's some ads on the back for one-page bulge, Raid on Iran, Cardboard Heroes. Doesn't that blow your mind? When this game was being written, the hostages were still being held by the Ayatollah Khomeini and the Iranian Revolutionary Council. So Raid on Iran was still relevant. Of course, I think counterterrorism is always fairly relevant. Should probably stop saying terrorism. That's probably Google's AI is going crazy and pushing me even further down. All right. So this is I gotta get my geek goggles, guys. Hang on a second. Alrighty, I'm back. Did you miss me? If you missed me, remember, you want to squeeze, don't pull, and don't hold your breath. Exhale before you pull the trigger. Okay, so this is Kung Fu 2100, The Assault on the Clone Master by B. Dennis Star as the game designer. I guess Steve was just editor and whatnot. Yes, Operation Eagle's Claw, Robert. I did. These are a magic item, and they are +2 because they're 2x. These are 2x mag eyes. I paint with these. I do computer work with these, and occasionally read with these because I have to. All right, so here we go. 1980 by Steve Jackson. Originally appeared in the August 1980 issue of The Space Gamer. So if you have The Space Gamer, or if you want to track down a copy of The Space Gamer, the August 1980 issue, you can get the game. Yeah, these are called Mag Eyes, and I can't say enough good about them. I've had these for about 16 years now, and they're phenomenal. They come with a 1.5 power lens. I bought the 2 power, and it's great. All right, so we got to unfold this thing like a newspaper. I feel like Tommy Lee Jones there, reading the newspaper. All righty, so let's see. So we get some fiction starting right off the bat. Let's look at our fiction. What does our fiction say? Rising Dream raced down the corridor as his 2 comrades stayed to delay the pursuit. He burst through the door at the end to find himself in a large, well-lit enclosure. Glancing about, he saw that he had penetrated to the computer area. A scream came from one of the technicians on the platform above. "A Terminator! Call the guards!" In several long strides, Dream was across the room. He sprang to the platform in a single leap. The terrified technicians recoiled, but to no avail, as they fell to 3 rapid blows from his powerful fists. He then turned to the computer, destroying its memory units as readily as he had dropped the technicians. His iron fist ability was more effective than a sledgehammer. That's Sledgehammer, Peter Gabriel. A challenging shout came from below. Rising Dream whirled to see a muscular man crouched in a fighting stance with the deadly nunchaku gripped in his left hand. Dream leaped down to face him, shouting, "Cowardly jelly, prepare to end your existence." The Clone Master's guard attacked first, whirling his weapon toward his foe's head. Dream stepped back before the blow could land, but the jelly pressed the attack, launching a kick towards his midsection. I guess jelly is what the Clone Master's soldiers are called. Rising Dream did not attempt to sidestep. He merely twisted his body slightly as he had been taught to do. The foot slid harmlessly by. Before the guard could react, Dream kicked upwards, breaking the guard's arm and sending the nunchaku whirling away. Ignoring the footsteps behind him, Rising Dream struck once more at the jelly, smashing his fist into the hated face of this reject from the Society of Thanatos. Dream knew his antagonist was dead even before the body hit the floor. A technician was now behind Dream, who swung to face this new assailant. He noted that the armored door on the upper level had swung open. The man standing to watch the fight could only be the Clone Master himself. Returning his attention to the technician, he saw the man held a small pistol. In that instant, it fired. Although the bullet struck Dream in his chest, he had spent years training to develop his mountain heart. He felt no pain from the wound. With little effort, the Terminator kicked at the technician, who gasped once and fell. Rising Dream looked up once more. The Clone Master, now alarmed, was retreating back through the thick metal door. Dream ran forward and leaped to the edge, too late to keep the door from closing. Controlling his breathing carefully, he concentrated on the strength flowing into his fist. The energy originated from a point in his belly, rose up through his body, and channeled out along his arm. Finally prepared, he visualized a point just beyond the face of the door and released the energy he had been accumulating. The metal itself yielded against such power. The armored door shrieked in protest as it gave way, fragments of the lock mechanism falling to the floor. The Terminator was now in the living quarters of the Clone Master, and he quickly went from room to room, searching for his prey. Several servants attempted to stop him, but he easily swept them aside, not pausing to kill them. He pulled open a door to discover a bedroom, richly decorated with embroidered hangings like nothing he had ever seen. With its fine woods, delicate crystal, and exotic sculptures, the room represented a world Dream had only heard vaguely described. His attention was not on the riches, though, but on the man who cowered beyond the bed. This was the Clone Master, ruler of this fortress, who dominated the poor families living beyond its walls. He began to plead with Rising Dream. "Do not do this thing, and you can have whatever wealth you wish." He gestured at the contents of the room. Rising Dream shook his head and advanced. "You can join my household, become one of my guards, take your choice of my servants to satisfy your every desire." "I am no jelly," Dream replied, and he continued forward. "I can make you immortal," the Clone Master cried. "You can live forever, safe from disease, safe from accidents, safe from old age." Rising Dream stood before him now. Softly he spoke. "I am one of the Society of Thanatos, what men call a Terminator. I exist for but one purpose, to see that none can claim immortality." He smashed his iron fist into the chest of the Clone Master, crushing the ribs and breastbone and bursting the heart beneath. His task was not yet done. Until the clone tanks had been destroyed, the Clone Master was not truly dead. Rising Dream turned back towards the door, glanced once more at the ornate room, then smiled and left the body on the floor. Red footprints marked the thick white carpet. So there you go. There's a little bit of fiction. Now let's get into the rules. Just gotta have some fluff text, man, with these. And the density of information, that took me how long to read that turgid prose? The density of information in these early rule books left little room for art. Now I was talking about this one, this drawing. You have the well-endowed Betty Page Bang's kung fu lady there, squaring off against a servant. Oh, but we have more fluff text. Guys. Historical background. What, you didn't realize this was a historical document? The perfection of cloning techniques in the year 2006 called worldwide social disruption. Is that what happened? Is that what happened? Is that why things are... There you go, guys. When you go outside and, there's Antifa protesters throwing rocks at your house because of something you said on Twitter, or, you got Fox News chasing you up the street. Cloning techniques perfected in 2006. That's what did it. Now we know. Thank you, Steve Jackson. Thank you for making our world just a little bit better informed. The expensive and complex cloning procedure required large computers for programming of clones with the personality and experiences of the original, a well-equipped biological laboratory for initial clone culture, and an elaborate growth chamber for accelerated development of the clone. Only the wealthiest and most powerful had access to such equipment, but those few gained effective immortality for themselves and their loyal followers. These powerful few, soon to be called Clone Masters. I had the Stair Master, I had the Cycle Master, and now I got the Clone Master. Joined to defend their status against the angry masses who felt doomed to mortality. In the early riots, many laboratories and buildings, or government buildings, were put to the torch. Whole cities followed. Much of civilization collapsed. Gradually, the surviving Clone Masters restored order, but of a very repressive kind. Technology was reserved for themselves. The populace was forbidden to use engines or machinery. Even metal was eventually outlawed. Not metal! Anyway, sorry. I keep forgetting I'm not over there. I can see me over there, but you guys can't see me over there. By the year 2100, the world was fragmented into individual fiefdoms, each controlled by a clone master from his personal fortress. Or her. Could be a clone mistress. Within the citadel was all he needed to grow and program his clones, letting him live forever in luxury. Attended by guards, servants, and his computer technicians, snug in his haven, a clone master needed to give little thought to the dark ages beyond the walls. Any organized revolt would be quickly dealt with by the clone master's own secret police or by the armed forces maintained cooperatively by groups of clone masters. See, this is like they dug through the Shaw Brothers garbage. Like, you know, not implying that the Shaw Brothers made garbage or even that this is garbage, but they would have said, it's nice, but we don't really have the effects budget to make that happen. We'll just go back to Wuxia and Wirefu and stuff like that. This is all very nice, but leave that for the Americans, the post-apocalypse stuff. But in the mean hovels of the wall, beyond the walls, a secret cult came to life. Members called it the Society of Thanatos. The common folk called them Terminators. They had but one goal: to end the lives of the clone masters. Terminators were trained from childhood to fight with the only weapons left to them, their hands and feet. They reached the human limit in strength, stamina, unarmed combat, and immunity to pain. A few failed in their trainings or rebelled against the strict Terminator discipline. Of these, many sought out the clone masters to inform on the cult. Such treachery often led to the destruction of a cult cell, but some always survived. The turncoats themselves took service guarding the clone masters. The clone masters called their kung fu guards Janissaries. The common folk called them spineless jellies, but not to their faces. Kung Fu 2100 is a game of the battle between the Terminators and the Clone Master. One player, the Terminator, seeks to enter the fortress of his foe and destroy him and all his works. The other player, the Clone Master, must defend himself until help can arrive. The Terminators are few but powerful. The Jellies are weak by comparison, but any one would be a match for many normal men, and they will give their lives for the Clone Master. Warning! There's a warning here, guys. Probably because it was being sold in California. This is a game, not a simulation. Serious-minded folk read further at their own risk. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Whoops. Sorry about that. Shouldn't tap on the keyboard. But anyway, we are not serious folk here. We're not even a little bit. We're safe. We're protected. There is a force field that surrounds us of not serious for the most part. So let us continue on. So that was all right. Components. Map sheet. Well, we've seen the map sheet. Symbol chart. The symbol chart is printed on the map sheet. It shows various symbols used on the counters in the map. Turn record track. This is also printed on the map sheet. Place the turn and phase counters on the track and move them at the completion of each phase. Record sheets. There are two kinds of record sheets, one for each player. 4 sets are included. You're free to photocopy these. Thank you, Steve Jackson. Thank you. The Jelly record sheet shows the abilities of Jellies 1 through 12. After the Clone Master marks off the Jellies he is not using, the sheet is ready for play. The Terminator record sheet shows 3 levels of ability in each of 5 skills, a total of 15 levels. The Terminator player must choose which level of skill each of his men has in ability and mark off the sheet accordingly. Once play begins, players use the record sheets by marking off the skills lost due to injury. When combat occurs, place the tactics counters on the record sheets to keep them from being mixed up. And then we've got all these different kind of counters: Jellies, technicians, armed technicians, servants, local policemen, combat results table. 2 copies are included. This table, CRT for short, shows the results of each type attack when met by each possible defense. To use it, cross-reference the attack with the defense it meets. This will show a die roll the attacker must make in order to hit. Some attacks automatically are automatically successful. Some defenses will automatically stop certain attacks without a die roll. Other items needed to play this, you also need 1 6-sided die and 1 pencil for each player. It is a tiny font. Let me show you guys this. That's the font. That's the font size. Oh my God. Oh, this is hilarious. So we have setup before play begins. The players must choose a scenario from section 6. There are different scenarios. The Terminator will have to choose what level's ability his men have and mark that on the record sheet. The Clone Master will have to pick out his counters and arrange them face down on the map. Play then begins with a first movement phase. We have sequence of play. Terminator move 1. Each Terminator moves up to 5 squares. Combat 1. All combats created by this movement are resolved. Terminator move 2. Each Terminator moves up to 5 squares. Clone Master move. The Clone Master may release new counters. Then each Clone Master counter that is now face up may move up to its full movement allowance. Combat 2. All combats created by this movement are resolved. Recovery. Any injured figure with a Mountain Heart ability rolls 1 die to see whether it recovers. If a 1 or 2 is rolled, 1 level of Mountain Heart is recovered. See section 5-6. Advanced game turn. Move the marker ahead 1 turn. It is now time for the first Terminator move of the next turn. It is important to keep track of what phase it is in by moving the phase marker. Otherwise, great confusion may result. All right. So section 4. Section 4 made me laugh straight away. Where is section 4? All right, there's some combat examples. That's scenarios. Come on, where is section 4? There we go. All right. Come on. Movement. Okay, movement. Here we go with movement. Terminator entry. At the beginning of the game, the Terminators may enter the building in any of several ways. It is possible for them to all come in the same way, though this may delay entry for some, or for each to use a different path. Any Terminator may delay his entry for any amount of time, but it is usually best to enter quickly. So you can enter through the front door. You can break it down. They can't move, but they can break the door down during that phase. Section 4.1.2. Out of the loo. Though the Clone Master lives in luxury, his plumbing is primitive. Wastes drop directly into large sewer pipes, which lead into a stream. The Terminators may enter the castle by crawling along these pipes. Remember, they're fanatics. That it says that. It says, remember, they're fanatics. To come bursting out of the facility's level loo. The loo square on the board counts as the first square of movement. It is not possible to enter or leave through loo 4 or loo 5. The kitchen, you can come up through the sewers into the kitchen. None of the Clone Masters may move until they are released, or Clone Masters counters may. At the beginning of the game, all the Clone Master counters are upside down. When the counter is released, it is turned right side up. Before counter is released, it cannot move or attack, but the Terminator does not know what it is. A counter may be released in one of the following ways. Terminator movement. When it enters a room, all counters in that room are instantly released. Turn them right side up. The Terminator player may look at them before finishing the movement of the man that entered the room. He may even choose to move back out of the room. Note, Central and Overlook are one room for purposes of release. And the Clone Master may choose to activate a jelly, a servant, a technician, armed or unarmed, and then pick the ones to be activated from wherever he likes. If all of the counters of a given type have already been activated, the Clone Master player does not get to activate an extra one of another type. If for some reason the Clone Master player wishes to leave some counters unactivated, he may. He never has to activate a counter. So the LOO. Oh my gosh. Well, Tunkatad's feeling fine. Don't worry about him, guys. He's back there punning. So I think Friday, because we're at like 51 minutes. So we've kind of looked at this already. Friday, do you guys want a part 2 of Kung Fu 2100 on Friday? Or is that enough? Jumping in and out of sewer pipes, fighting Kung Fu mooks called jellies. Do you guys want a deeper dive into this? Damien says yes. Damien holds the keys, guys. You know, unless I get a super that says no, please don't. What do you guys want? Do you want more Kung Fu 2100, or is that enough Kung Fu 2100? Yang says yes, and a one shot. Oh my gosh, you want me to like put all this out, put a camera on it, and play Kung Fu 2100 for you guys? I'll do it. I mean, you know I kind of said, hey, super chat me if you want to see Kung Fu 2100, but you know, I'm not gonna hold a gun to your head. So there's been like a dozen of you guys out there tonight, sometimes approaching 15, which is, I guess, big numbers for me now. Yay. Anyway, so if you guys want to see more Kung Fu 2100, only a couple of people, they don't even have a plurality. Those of you abstaining, if this is boring you to tears and you're like, I just want to go back to D&D, if you're not speaking up, you're not being heard. But right now, it's Damien and Yang. They have leaped into the driver's seat, forced me out of the way, and are steering this bus over onto more Kung Fu 2100. So Tonka Todd, there you go. More Kung Fu 2100. That's 25% of the group. Because you guys got to watch out for Tonka Todd. He'll go nuts and karate chop you. He'll activate Mountain Heart. So more Kung Fu 2100 can be on tap for you if that's what you want. But tonight, we're going to play some AD&D. Gosh darn it. We're not heading into Thanksgiving without whipping out some AD&D combat to play. Got that Kung Fu grip. So that's what that's what we're going to do. We're going to hop into first edition AD&D. But before we do that, there's some folks I'd like to thank, some folks that kind of help keep the lights on around here. Chris Sims says, so you see the ticker going by. You can support the show on Patreon. You can support the show on Subscribestar. You can buy me a coffee. Well, me as us, you know how it is. But there are some who've elected to do those things, and I just want to take a minute and I want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it helps. It helps keep the lights on. Literally, that's not a joke. So let me say thank you to Joshua Garlock, Lord Corian, Ricky Maru, Mobius, Kevin Reynolds, Doomsword Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damien247, James F. Keck, the whole observatory out there in Hawaii, William Smith, the Dungeon Minister, Manny Wall, Mark Corey, Kevin Wood, Todd Sharp, Carnivore Farmer, Rob, Jeremy Rule, Bo Ganora, Mikey Mank, Sky Hernstrom, Pete Sullivan, the DM's Council, and Baron Von Headbanger. Those guys help out here a lot, and I really, really appreciate that they do. And the best thing you can do to support the show, if you're not already supporting us on Subscribestar, again on Patreon or what have you, you can support the show by clicking like and subscribe and the bell icon for notifications. Those are really super helpful. And I thank everyone who subbed to the channel. Speaking of which, because we got a couple of minutes yet, let's see. Let us have a quick gander. Let's see where we're at. Come on, come on. So we're at 1386 subs on the old channel there. It's been steady. So thank you, everyone who has subscribed. Thank you, everyone who's considering subscribing. I certainly appreciate it. Hopefully, we've got some stuff that'll just bring you back. That'll just bring you back and keep you looking at the channel. Why not more Kung Fu? Missed those Saturday. Oh, yeah. No, we've already talked about that. I thought that was a new missive. So 1386. But now, boys and girls, now, as soon as we get Doomsword in the chat, hopefully he'll be joining us here momentarily. As soon as we get Doomsword in the chat, we're going to kick off playing some AD&D tonight. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. We're just waiting on one more person to slide on into the green room there. Because we have 4 players without any fear. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, D&D time is here. If anyone has any quick questions before we get started, one thing I will tell you, folks, whether you subbed to the channel, and I hope you have, I hope I've made a good enough case for you to want to get notifications on the daily from me about this time to watch these live streams. But regardless of what you do, how you take this in and what we do is I want to be here as a source of information. There's so much information. Like I talk about classic D&D. I'm like, yeah, I play classic D&D, and the reactions are always hilarious. Fako. Am I right? Is that what you're doing? I'm like, no, we're not. I have the Dungeon Master's Guide. I can just look at a table and it'll tell me, and I add or subtract any bonuses or penalties. So no, that's an example of answering a question to you guys. And if you ask like, okay, how come the guy who said he's charging is getting to go first? Well, I can tell you why. So if you have a question, ask. You can ask in the live chat. You can ask over on the Discord. I would prefer you ask over here on YouTube so I know what happens when it happens. Or you can consider that we watch this. We're not just entertaining. We are not just entertaining. We are we're educational around these parts. See, I'm suffering a little bit of net lag. There it is. It's cleared up. Just sending a message there. We're gonna be 2 or 3 more minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and start this up. We're still shy of player, but we have enough that we can continue on. But I hope you guys enjoyed the initial look through, read through, glance through of Kung Fu 2100. I kind of just started doing it as a lark, but y'all seem to enjoy it. So let me see. Doomsword is on his way in. He is entering the green room. Rather Howard Beale-like. He's got his overcoat wrapped around him and his rain-soaked hair, and the makeup guys are just dabbing on top of it. He'll be in here in just a minute. Which, by the way, when I was a kid, I never wanted to live in a future where network was no longer being a black comedy, but in fact becoming day-to-day reality, and yet here we are. But the less said about that, the better, right? All right. Oh, goody, Adobe updated, so who knows how I'm going to be able to read the rule book tonight. Oh, it's still functioning. It wanted me to restart my PC. Hey, I updated Adobe Reader. You got to shut your computer off. Nope. I have things to do, games to play. Yeah, but you won't get the update and I won't open any of their PDFs. Well, then I won't close the ones I have, will I? All right. Well, Doomsword is on his way in, and my players are looking anxiously at me through the one-way glass that I keep them behind in our green room to keep me safe from attacks and thrown drinks and that sort of thing. So without further ado, let us welcome TK, a Sir Outlier. Welcome, TK, a Sir Outlier.
Hi-yo.
There is Mark as Abnar.
Bonjour.
And the latest addition to this merry band of mutated misfits, Baron Von Headbanger as Cork. So I can absolutely tell this party to put a cork in it.
Yeah. How's my volume this time? Good?
Really good.
You are 5 by 5.
Awesome.
Yep. So I'm going to move these because they will get lost otherwise. All right. So when last we left our intrepid adventurers, Todd says, we're on his big screen. Let's do this. That's awesome. When last we left our intrepid adventurers, I believe TK, your dear Sir Outlier, had leveled up. Yes?
Yes, I can now cast the ever-important spell, Cure Disease, but the infinitely more useful spell, I would argue, Ward.
Animate dead.
No, not yet. I don't think I can be animating the dead yet.
Oh,
but I can be placing all kinds of minor wards on things, like, oh, I don't know, your pants!
Do not do anything to my pants.
It'll be fun. Any kind of container, any kind of door, any kind of small area. So I'm going to be glyph of warding basically anything and everything I can get my hands on every day. I can get my hands on them.
Excellent.
This is my favorite thing to do as a cleric. Spoiler alert.
You're like that kid that got his first tube of Tester's model glue. Hey, speaking of kids and model glue, look who it is. It is Doomsword, everybody. Hello, Doomsword. As Turgo, the thief.
What do you do? Super glue his hands to the steering wheel?
Hey, what's up?
Don't know. Howdy. Like myself, Doomsword likes handling volatile chemicals in the pursuit of our hobby from time to time. So raising our artistic abilities and lowering our IQs one inhalation over the workbench at a time.
I did that to my dad once. Super glued his hands to the steering wheel.
Alrighty, so adventurers, your cleric has gained levels. Fighter cleric, I should say, has gained levels as a fighter cleric. And are you heading back to Castle Greyhawk to adventure more?
Yes.
Also, I think the highlight is I gained all of 2 hit points.
Well,
Oh,
that
well, I
happens
mean,
from.
I suppose that's okay, right? Because when you gain the other level, maybe
Well, I
you'll
gained
get
exactly
3.
average. 2 is average. Like I'm
Right.
going to gain, yeah. So
So Abner's ready to go. He's checked over the contents of the cart, made sure we had food.
Yep. Do
The
we have
lanterns for casting continual light into when we get a chance.
do we have a party? We have a party chest. I take it, right? One that
Yeah, I imagine like a strong box in the back of the cart, but it doesn't contain much money.
that's fine. My first ward spell will be on that one.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Alrighty, so you journey out from the city of Greyhawk. It is the year is getting late. The air is getting cold. The nights are getting frosty. But fortunately, you're redoubtable adventurers, and such things do not affect you and your considerations as you sally forth to fight evil and to commit deeds of daring do.
DM.
Yes.
Never mind. I was going to ask, what is the past tense of glyph of warding? And I guess it would just be warded.
Glyphed
Okay.
as wording.
Because you can't past tense warding. That doesn't really work.
The important questions are being asked here.
Indeed.
Well,
I have to keep a list of the items I've warded.
alrighty. So away you ride into the day. You passed the now mostly bare fields of farm and ruck as the time of harvest has gone into the gray morning. I'm guessing you're leaving in morning. I don't want to insist that you are.
Yes,
Yes.
because it
I'm going
takes
to
us all day to get to the inn.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
once we get to the inn, I can cast continual light on the lantern.
Alrighty.
It is 8 hours of rest for 3rd level spells, isn't it? I think.
I don't have that section of the Dungeon Master's Guide in front of me, so I'm not sure.
It's
Oh,
such a
good if
pain
you
to
don't-
find. Every time I go to look for it, I can never find it. I know it's 4 hours for 1st level spells.
Yeah. There it is. 6 hours for third level, third and fourth.
Can you just tell me what page that's on?
Oh, you would have had to ask after I closed the book. Crap.
I know. And that's because I can never find it, so I'm just literally going to take the snippet out of the DMG and put it on my character sheet.
Page 40.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first night, as you are nearing the Last Chance Inn, off in the distance, you can hear kind of a yipping and snarling. The hackles of your war dog are raised. He begins to growl. It is sounds like it's coming from directly in front of you.
Okie dokie.
But they also don't. It's not getting closer to you. Do you have any source of light that you're traveling with? Or are you just going by the infravision of those who have it, or what are you doing?
The lantern.
Yeah, we have at least one lantern with oil in it right now.
Well, no, we have one magical lantern.
Oh,
Yep.
that's right. Yep,
I
we have
would-
one continual light lantern.
Continual light lantern.
Okay. So do you hesitate or just continue riding forward? What do you wish to do? Is growling and yipping?
Do we see anything?
Not as of yet. No, I mean the continual light is kind of blotting out any infravision, and while it does have a big radius, it is not enough to see whatever is making those noises.
Turtle?
Abner slows down the horses, or horse, whatever we have.
I
Shall
can go
someone
take
go
a look
investigate?
if you'd like.
If you'd be so kind.
Be careful.
Indeed.
I will
I'm always
dismount and
careful.
splay my feet.
Okay. So do you move beyond the radius of the continual light?
Yeah, that's the intent, and I'm going to be as quiet as possible.
All right.
Yeah, and try to stay in complete darkness and survey the area in front of me.
All right. You put your feet only on soft dirt, not on any dry grass or twigs or leaves that might rustle, and stride forward for a bit. In the distance, you see a group of 5 dog-like forms. They're sniffing the air, kind of, lowering themselves to the ground. You're not sure if they're aware of you or not, but you think these are jackals. They're just, small creatures. They don't appear to be acting aggressively, rather just communicating amongst themselves in their growls and yips.
Right, so not monstrous dogs or anything like that. Just
No.
Yeah. Well, I assume that we don't need them for food, so I'll leave them be and back off slowly toward the party, and try not to capture the attention of the dogs and let the party know what's going on, and they can decide if we need food.
Alrighty.
They could be jackal wares.
All right. Somebody's got a rhythmic thumping sound going on in the background. Could you check and fan or something?
Might be me. Hold on.
Okay.
It's the dubstep.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Marcus.
On tip. Okay. So you've moving on. Sure enough, off to the left as you progress ahead, you can now see a small pack of jackals. There's 5 of them in total. They're kind of lounging in the grass. They kind of yip. Your dog growls and gives a warning bark to them, and they dart back a little bit, but then kind of move back to more or less where they were, but they don't attack.
Okay. Oh.
And it is just a short time later that you arrive at the Last Chance Inn, where you have another day's travel ahead of you. Any provender to buy, anything like that?
I think as far as provisions, I refilled when we were in town.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't think so. I'm good. My dog's good. I would have liked to have gotten a new leather jack for the dog, but I forgot. They wouldn't happen to have a flask of holy water on sale here, would they?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I am down one of those, but that's about it.
I have one flask.
If you only have one, I'm going to give you one. And say, congratulations, you now have 2.
Oh, okay.
I keep no less than 4 on my person, typically. So, between us, we will have 4.
Cool. Thank you.
Is the tavern busy at all tonight?
Not particularly, no. There's a few militiamen who have made it the point to make the tavern the very end of their patrol, so they can justify stopping and having an ale and sleep overnight before they turn and head back on their circuit in the morning. But other than they and a couple of farmers who have come in from the nearby countryside for a pint, no.
Okie dokie. What is the next? Just in the morning party. What is the next thing you want warded?
I can't think of anything until we get to the longhouse.
Your spellbook, Abner?
As long as I can open it.
As long as you can, hey, as long as you have the password, you can open it. You can even make the password unique to you. I don't care. But just as an anti-theft device.
Interesting thought. Sure, let's do it.
Okay.
Ward my spellbook.
I will add that to, or would you rather me ward your scroll tube?
No, spellbook.
Spellbook? Cool. DM, is that okay?
Let me hang on a second. So you're using glyph of warding, yes?
Jawohl. It is an area of less than 10 by 10 feet, obviously. It's an item, right? It would do 10 points of shock damage to whoever interacts with it and doesn't read the password or doesn't say the password. Typical glyph of warding stuff.
Okay.
The usual things glyphs of warding are for.
Okay, so as long as he knows the password and it's the correct password and you're not trying to blow his fingers off for S and G's, then yes, you can do that.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Okay. And as I said before for Abner, chances are this won't kill the thief. It might. But, worst comes to worst, once again, you'll hear him scream.
Yep. Excellent.
Yeah, I can just see that. Yes, Abner, the password is Alakazam. Abner goes to open his spell books, takes a 10-point shot. I'm sorry, the A was capitalized.
Yeah. You put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Capital A, Alakazam.
And
Okay.
one of the A's is a 4, and
There's some leet speak in there. Yeah. There's an exclamation point at the end of it because I had to have a special character.
Yeah.
Click all of the pictures that don't have an orc in them.
Oh, God.
I always fail those. Me and Mark always. I'm a robot. Always
Same.
Imagine how I feel. Yeah. At least now I know it's not because I'm blind. Like everybody else does it too. So that feels good.
All right. So your journey from the Last Chance Inn back to the Greyhawk Longhouse is fairly uneventful. It's cold, it's windy, it's overcast. Occasionally the sun peeks out and you can see azure blue sky, but the scudding clouds cover that almost immediately. And back you continue.
Get the cart settled. Where do we want to go next, gentlemen?
Well, first things first, I'm going to ward the door. And I'm going to make sure everybody knows when I ward the door the password.
Okay.
And that password would be?
Actually, the password's barn door.
Perfect.
For those of you who ride horses, you'll understand that.
Alrighty, so you ward the door. I'm presuming you tell your servants and men-at-arms this too?
Indeed. And it's in common. It's not in Dwarvish or anything like that.
All right. Speak the word, friend, and enter. All right.
Yeah.
So you've warded the door. Whither will thou goest, adventurers?
That's what I was wondering. I don't think
Back
we've finished
down
with the
to sister.
troglodytes.
No,
We haven't finished the troglodytes yet.
Nope.
Should we do that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
Do
we've
you want
got
to come
what, the
back to the
cistern
troglodytes having a bricked wall?
Yeah.
and the secret entrance. Is that what we've got there?
I'm sorry. Say that again?
Yeah, wasn't there? So we've got the cistern, right? And
Yeah.
wasn't there like a secret entrance into the back of the Warrens or whatever?
The
guys had
hobgoblins
escaped
had
from.
a back door that's like a mile or
Right.
so away.
Right. Okay.
So let's finish off the troglodytes. We just got here. It's late at night, so let's do it in the morning.
Right. And what's our new paladin friend?
Yeah.
Those guys typically like to take charge. I've been around plenty of them in my time. Usually it doesn't screw up too bad. Sometimes it does, though.
What do you think, Cork?
What's up?
What do you think? What should we go after, Cork?
We're picking your brain.
Oh, man, troglodyte sounds good to me.
Okay.
I mean, they're kind of bitter, really greasy. You have to boil them twice first. They're not very good, but
They smell, the usual.
yeah. Using garlic gives you
I've
bad
been
breath.
known to
Oh
smell.
boy.
Mm.
Those
So you're not going
troglodytes,
to get all self-righteous and stuff like that with us, are you?
not right now, no.
Oh, not right now. That's the likely answer.
He's keeping a list.
Well, let me tell you, it's dark down there, and it's dangerous, it's deadly, and it's full of filth and evil and scum and villainy.
And then there's the
Stick
monsters,
together, right?
And then-
I was about to say, and then there was my ogre Jim.
Well, yeah, we won't speak about that.
Oh well. Okay, so are we leaving my dog here, or are we bringing the dog with?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of leaving. I'm a fan of taking him and leaving them in arms. He's every bit as good as a man at arms.
Okay.
Actually, spoiler alert, he has more hit points and can bite for just he has the same number of hit points, same armor class, and
Does he have more than bite, or is it just a
Let me
bite
see.
attack, or can he
oh, sorry, my apologies.
choke and stuff?
He has more hit points, worse armor class, AC 6, and his bite's 1 to 6. So basically, he's like a follower, but with more hit points.
He's got my armor class.
Yeah, he's better armor than me. So yes, whatever you like. Just this time, when we enter a combat, let's try to make sure if we know I'm casting sleep upon them.
I'm just
So I
going
don't
to
get your
assume
dog this
you're-
time.
Yeah, I'm going to assume you're casting sleep
Yeah,
first,
just
because
don't
we do
release
the
him
same
for
thing
a
with
beat.
sleep and hold person too.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna make Darwesh aware that I would like him to keep an eye on Cork for any funny business for at least a couple of days.
Of course.
okie dokie. So then I'll bring. So I guess I'll bring Leo and Nerm and the dog, and that's it as far as our retinue.
No, Abner has his bodyguards as always.
Okay.
I
And we
thought you were
got
leaving Leo
Darwesh.
and Nerm behind.
That's fair. All right. So if you're bringing your bodyguards,
Yeah.
I'll leave Leo and Nerm behind.
Cool. That means my valet is guarded. Most important hireling ever, my valet.
Hey, my dog takes payment in head scratches and belly rubs. So,
But can he mend it? Can he fix a suit?
they can tear you a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
So, how are you guys entering the dungeon? Please tell me.
Let's go down the cistern as before.
Yep, I will attach the dog to my chest and belay down.
Mhm.
Alrighty.
Yeah, we should be pretty used to this by now, huh? I
Yeah.
think I generally go last or whatever.
Well, I'm a noob
Yeah.
at the cistern, so
Harnesses,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
come in handy.
Yeah, so the dwarf generally goes down first, and I would imagine the paladin would want to go down afterward. I don't like to go down first because if somebody real heavy falls on me, I'm toast. Let's put
Are you
the heavy.
saying roll that 1 in 1,000 chance of a young adult green dragon trolloping through the through that part of the dungeon.
Yeah, that would also suck.
Okay, one tug was everything's okay. 2 tugs is everything's not okay. What's a long, violent shaking followed by the rope going slack mean? Okay, so it takes you all a while going one at a time to belay down into the cistern, but you do all get down there and nothing untowards, no waves of giant rats, no random kobold patrols, nothing like that. Looks fairly unchanged since the last time you were here. It has the damp, sort of musty smell. The entranceway to the orc hideout is still bricked over. The way south to the hobgoblin's lair is open, as is the way west towards, well, the natural caves over yonder.
Okay, so they were in the natural section, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I assume we basically I assume we basically keep the same marching order in terms of Turgo being out front, just outside the continual light, which I guess stretches the distance between me and the party. And I don't know where Cork goes. I guess it's Cork and you and Darwish.
Where you want me?
Yeah. You'll Cork. You march next to me. The dog will be at my feet. Darwish. So we'll form the fighting line with the dog in front, and then of course men at arms, yada yada, the useless wizard, up behind.
Yeah, and I'd imagine if it's 3 abreast, that Darwish would fill the front line with you guys.
Absolutely.
If it's 2 abreast, he'll be behind the dwarf, because that gives him ability to maybe attack overhead.
Hey, being short helps.
One of my bodyguards is carrying the lantern.
Okay, so you start to move to the west. Now, the collapsed room is still much the same as it was. The puddle of water in the middle of the floor appears to be undisturbed. It has neither grown nor has it abated any.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but the amount of moisture down here, it doesn't strike you as terribly surprising. So you can circumvent it to the north or slightly to the south if you want to press yourself against the wall, or you can just walk straight across it and through it.
Go around it.
Yeah. I think if memory serves, I've waded like as deep as like chest deep into that thing and gotten nothing for it. So
yeah, it's not just a thin layer of water on the dungeon floor. All right, so you find yourself in the gooseneck that leads to the large north to southeast galleries where you had as late encountered wights. I'm guessing you're not going to inspect that, yes?
Nope.
All right.
hey, Paladin,
Yo,
you want to do something fun?
sure.
Go into that white den and kick the hornet's nest so we all have to run.
That doesn't sound like fun to
Well,
me.
we got a stronger priest, and we got a paladin now.
Hey, I still only have like a 2 in 20 chance of turning those whites. How about let's not?
I can't turn till next level, so
And then you only turn
We'll
half
come
as good
back.
as me, so
right.
no.
So, moving further to the west, you find yourself in the 5-way, almost starfish-shaped junction, of course, with the southeast leg of that leading into the caves where you had fought the troglodytes.
Yeah, until Abner knows Fireball, we aren't touching those whites.
Yeah, it might be a while.
Good point.
All right.
Or until I know Flame Strike.
Okay, so you go through the fundus, the somewhat smaller cavern that is just north of the larger cavern.
Mhm.
You enter that one. That faint stink of troglodytes still hangs in the air here. I mean, multiple fireballings would probably not get it out of here. Although the cantrip freshen cast perhaps a few 100,000 times might. You enter the long transverse gallery that runs exactly due east and due west, that is just south of the chamber that you're in now. Nothing. A little bit of the refuse of your battle, a broken stone axe over here, the stub of a javelin there, a dark splotch on the floor that could be the ichor of one of these things.
So the whole floor should be bathed in that.
If we go a little bit further, I think south, we'll end up with a four-way corridor where we fought all the leaders.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Let's go that way.
Okay, so turning south out of the transverse gallery, you head down a mere 20 feet, and you have the narrow corridors leading both left and right, or east and west. It is quiet. It is very quiet. Let me see here.
And this is also a junction we've been at before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. You hear something that sounds faintly like whispering. It sounds like it's coming from the west. You all hear it. That is not a special thief thing that's happening.
Okay, I'm gonna detect evil in that direction then, which covers, I think, 60 feet. Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet to have a paladin.
Mm-hmm. Though it depends on how the DM rules detect evil.
You do not detect any evil in that direction.
So what's our normal course of action?
Move up.
We go in the direction of the evil, or we go in the direction away from evil? Let's say you detected evil, then what would we do?
Charge.
We move into the breach.
Sounds about right.
I suggest we go investigate those whispers.
Okay, so the corridor here, and everyone is aware of this, you've all been in here before, is narrow enough that you have to go single file.
Mm-hmm.
But it very quickly opens up into another transverse gallery, perhaps 40 feet to the west it goes from the bottleneck. And then in the western end of it, on the north wall, there is an opening.
When we were here last, we think a troglodyte escaped that way.
Yep.
Indeed.
Right.
How big's the opening?
The one to the north, it is.
Yeah.
It's about 10 feet wide, so it's a good size cave opening.
All right.
One
Should we
I
take
should
that
scout
route and see
ahead.
where that goes? Yeah.
Yep.
See where it goes.
All right, I'll scout ahead on this one. You know, hopefully moving silently, of course, staying out of the range of that continual light, and generally coming back and informing the party if possible anytime I see anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Otherwise, we press on.
Okie dokie. Have a tick.
And that was when the party was eaten by 3 dozen rock shrubs.
All right. So that corridor section that goes north out of this chamber is really short. It's perhaps 15 feet long, and it makes a sharp turn immediately to the left as you go north.
Are we still hearing those whispers?
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to follow that.
Okay. So you just turning the corner, it opens into a rough, you think maybe 20 by 20 chamber. The floor is sunken in here. And although part of it has been knocked down, there's a bank of dirt circling perhaps a 10-foot area in the middle of the room, and there is caked mud there, and there are multiple small depressions, perhaps twice the size of your cupped hand, in the mud, and you see little fragments of white scattered here and again on the floor.
Troglodytes lay eggs, I guess.
Yeah.
Are there any exits from this chamber that I can make out from?
None that are obvious. No.
Okay. And obviously, I see no forms moving around or anything like that, right?
No, you do not.
All right. Well, however we do it, I'll come back to the party and inform them of what I found. It appears to be a lair, a nest, if you will.
A nest of...
Well, I would assume it's this disgusting, foul creatures, and it also doesn't surprise me that they lay eggs. I imagine they're slimy and disgusting.
Abner wishes to go get a sample of eggshell.
Great. Somebody sneezes and you want to keep it.
Yes.
Yeah. I found no exits. It appears to be safe.
Well, let's start the murdering of Troglodyte babies, shall we?
Were there eggs, or was it just eggshells?
No, just bits of eggshell here and there, and it looks like there were eggs, but they were either removed or their occupants hatched and went away. The floor is a riot of footprints, both from Doomsword and from probably troglodytes and maybe even other creatures. You're not sure, but none of you are rangers, so you can't make you can't make heads nor tails of it. Yeah.
Do I notice any secret doors, stonework, etc.?
You are sure that there are no secret doors or unusual stonework here.
That's fine. Just doing my duty.
If I take my so not if I take, but I'll take my collapsible 10-foot pole and poke down into the sand nesting area or whatever. Does it just continue? Is this just like soft, like sugar sand type of thing?
No, it's not even sand. It's like mud.
Right.
It sinks in for about 2 feet, and then you can feel it kind of grinding against hard, either more firmly packed earth or actual stone underneath.
Yeah, it appears they nest in mud. I don't know what that mud's made out of. There's a good chance that it's dirt plus something else. Jump in. It's only a couple of feet deep.
What is it that's not quite sand and it ain't quite water? Quicksand!
Genuinely.
Well, at least we know this has a bottom and you're not going to drown. I mean, maybe if you were a dwarf, you would. I don't know.
I'd have to jump head first.
Fair enough.
So we we haven't found the source of the whispers. Could have been a trick of the ear, I guess. Should we go check the other passage? Because we've gone to a four-way and we've gone west. Let's go east.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're quite sure there's nothing in here of value or use.
Abner looks around and says, "No."
Unless you have a need for mud, guano, possibly troglodyte eggshells, which are kind of soft like snake eggs, I should point out.
Our money detecting swords don't go off, do they? As far as
Do not. Your swords report no treasure.
that's fine.
That's what I was getting at. Yep.
Abner does take a couple fragments of eggshell for his research purposes.
That's fine.
Give some to the alchemist, you might be able to do something.
Make more troglodytes.
Yeah. What do you want me to create a potion of restore omelet? What?
Yeah.
I want a potion of calcium, thank you.
He hands you a piece of chalk. Don't do it all at once. Okay, so back in the intersection, you have a narrow hallway that goes to the northeast. That is just opposite this one.
And let's try that.
Alrighty. Once again, this is a single file hallway. It goes about 15 feet to the northeast before it turns due east and then starts to open up a bit. At first, it is wide enough that two can go abreast, but that's only for about 10 feet. It then widens out to about 10 feet, so three can go abreast.
Okay.
And there's a roughly triangular chamber beyond it. The point is to the south, with the hallway on either of the two upper corners of it. But like I said, it's only roughly triangular shaped. And you can see that opposite, further to the east, that hallway goes maybe 10 feet and then turns sharply to the south.
Does that look stonework, or is it natural formation that just happens to resemble a triangle? Of course, the dwarf would know that, I assume.
Yeah. So to the dwarf, yeah, this is living rock. This is natural.
Okey-dokey.
Is there anything in this room? Any ideas of what it once was? Debris. Graffiti?
Not as such. No, there's a few spots on the ground in the sand and mud that look like maybe troglodytes sat there or laid there, but beyond that, you couldn't really tell.
Then let's continue this way. Does that sound like a plan?
Yep. It looks like
Yes.
the time we took, they probably scampered off. So let's keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, so following the hallway east, again, it goes about 10 feet to the east and then curves to the southeast, opening in a northwest-southeast oval-shaped chamber that is maybe 25 feet wide at its widest. But you can see at the midpoint, there are openings to the southeast, to the southwest and to the northeast.
Is this new?
It's new to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've never been here before.
Right. Well,
All right, well-
I awaited instruction.
Let's take the southern
Yeah.
exit. Just keep
Yeah.
to the right.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll move up ahead and see what's going
Okay.
on.
Entering the chamber, the stench of the troglodytes is omnipresent. However, the left or northeast passage stinks slightly less. Maybe, you're not sure. But the right or southwest passage is just the same.
When you're following an orc, always follow your nose.
Right. So the left northeast passage stinks a little bit less.
Maybe.
That's not
All
where
right.
we want to go.
Well, that's the direction I intend to go, unless, at least for a few feet and see what's going on up
Yeah.
there. Because perhaps it's uninhabited. We can, use it as a base of regrouping to see what we want to do next.
That's fine. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, so following along, and I'm sorry, could you clarify? You are going to the southwest or the northeast?
The left northeast, yes.
Left northeast. Okay, all right. That is a very short corridor before it turns due north, and after about 10 feet, it turns due east. It stays about 10 feet wide in its inverted L shape. And as you look to the east, it goes about 20 feet and opens into, or rather, it splits into two passages, one that looks like it goes to the southeast and one that continues due east.
Right. What do you guys think? That one that splits to the southeast probably goes back in the direction we came from? Is that what I'm gathering?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like maybe hooks back up to that other one.
Maybe this place is a total maze. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Honestly, as a player, I have no clue. So, like, don't look at me for directions. All I can say is keep right.
Yeah, that's what I do normally. Except in this case, didn't I just make a choice that kept me left?
You went left. Yes, that's why I didn't want to go to the north. I wanted to go because south.
Right.
So
right. In this case, I'm going to follow the left wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
And hopefully come back around to where, this is a special case.
So,
all right.
So that means continuing east, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the party is kind of moving along behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you go about 30 feet to the east, and there is a T intersection in that there's a southern turn, and then it continues on to the east.
Follow it.
Yeah.
So you're turning right to go south, or you just keep going east?
Just keep going east.
Okay. Oh dear. Okay. You continue on to the east. You've got your ears pricked up. What is your dex?
Yeah, so that's a 16, I think.
A 16. Okay. So
Yeah,
you're only
16.
surprised for a single segment
Okay.
by the Minotaur that steps out of the shadows before you, brandishing a spear, and it grunts a challenge and gestures at you angrily. What do you wish to do?
Oh, well, I'm certainly attacking.
Okay.
And yelling out.
Alrighty.
There's a bunch of bull up here.
Well, let's give you the other end.
All right, so you're yelling and you're going to attack. However, the Minotaur does have a segment of surprise. So it, rather than trying to stab you with its spear, as it is at fairly close range, it is going to headbutt you. And it misses you, so you are now free to try and attack it, but let's roll initiative. Party, you hear him call out. You basically spend that round closing up, and sure enough, there is a Minotaur standing there.
What
Let's
is the width in this hallway?
half a moment.
Are we standing three abreast, or?
It's actually fairly narrow here, so one of you can stand next to Turgo as he fights.
You want me to go up there?
Yeah, go ahead. You get yourself killed. We'll see what you've got. Did I ever send you the stats on that sword?
You said it was a +2?
+2. Oh,
Okay,
it's also a sword of beam counting.
Oh,
So you guys are melee. Let's go ahead and roll initiative, and we'll start. We'll start with Doom's sword since he's kind of in the thick of it. So roll initiative.
3.
3. Okay, I dropped my d6 on the floor. A 6. This Minotaur will go first, and he is now using his. I'm sorry, I said it was a spear. It is a bardiche.
Oh, what a shame.
That is going to hit you.
I guess full arms do matter.
I tried to dodge.
Let's see, bardiche.
You know, I had an opportunity some years back to buy one. I really wish I had.
Say, Turgo's not large, is he? 3 to 12 points of damage.
But it's unfortunate for the Minotaur that he is.
That is 5 points of damage you take.
Ouch.
You'll pay for that.
That's okay.
He bellows challenge in your face.
I have a cure spell coming his way.
Okay.
Mom.
Alrighty. Counterattacks, please.
All right, so yeah, I'll go ahead and make my attacks against this guy. Since he's large, he has a worse opportunity against my dagger. That's +2/+3 versus large-sized creatures.
Mm-hmm. It is
That gets me a
+3
and a +3 on my dual attacks. So the longsword scores an 18.
That will hit.
AC 1. And the dagger scores a 19. Yeah, which is AC -1.
All right, so you hit with both weapons. Congratulations.
And thank you.
That paladin
And
might
the
not
damage, the damage is +3/+3 as well.
Okay.
So 7 on the longsword and 6 on the dagger.
All right. 7 and 6.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
All right. He bellows in rage that there's a lot of hot, dark red blood on your weapons. Cork.
Okay, so question on the sword. Is that a +2 to hit and to damage?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Also, I've got this protection from evil going in a 1-inch radius around me. So anything evil swings at a -2 against me, and I guess anybody else in there.
That 1 inch is scale, so that's 10 feet.
Okay.
So pretty much everyone.
So pretty much
Do
everyone.
we get a +1 for that? Is that how that worked? Or
It's
is that later?
they swing at a
It's
Okay.
just a defensive bonus.
Okay. All right. Here's my swing then. That would be a 11 total.
11 total will not connect. So that finishes the melee round.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Apologies. Yeah. Is do I have enough whatever to be able to kind of back out without getting blasted in the face with a bardiche so that somebody more capable can move in my place?
You play about as well as I do with that magic sword of yours.
True. All right, I'll hold the front line. Yes.
I have an important question though, if it's okay. Can I get can I reach out and touch this guy with my bill?
It's a bit of a tight fit up there, and you are kind of short.
Or can I send my dog in?
Definitely not the dog. The dog will get trampled by your own people or knock them down in the process. You can try and gig with your bill. Go ahead and roll it and let me know what you get.
Yeah, I figured it'd be a penalty. That's
Gig
not
that
bad.
guy.
That's not bad. That's a 14 plus math. 14 plus the 3, so that's a 17 as a. What is actually higher? 4th level, 5th level cleric, or 4th level fighter?
4th level fighter.
4th level fighter, probably.
We're just going to treat it as a flat +3, just because winding up with this thing is a little hard to do in the tight space. So 14.
So 14. So 14 plus 3, 17. So.
All right. The 14 may actually get him.
Sure. So AC 4.
I said it. Oh, AC.
Yes. 14 is AC 4. 17 is AC something stupid.
That will hit. That will hit. So roll your damage.
He's large, and so for me, that's I think 2d6 against. Large with it. I haven't used this weapon in a very long time. I had to check.
That's fine. That's fine.
7 plus strength, so that's 13.
Okay, he is very badly injured, clearly, but he's still on his feet. At the end of the round, the front lines become everywhere. From the south at the T intersection, there is a Minotaur, and from behind you, a Minotaur comes rushing up. So there are Minotaurs. There is a Minotaur in front of you. There is one to the south of you, and there is one to the rear of you. So going around the table, Mark, what is Abner doing?
Quickly webbing behind him to keep that Minotaur away.
Okay. I'm sorry, TK, what is Outlier doing?
Sure. I'm going to turn and face the more apt opponent, the side opponent, if I can.
Yes.
And both my dog and I will face.
Okay, so you're going to
swing.
Yep. All right. What are you ordering the fighting men to do?
They were left back in the.
Yeah. What about your fighting men?
They're protecting my body.
Huh. All right. Well, then Darawesh will refuse the flank with you, TK.
That's fine.
Okay. And I guess those of you up front are going to continue to fight. Abner, you're going to cast Web. Yeah. Mark, roll initiative for us, please.
Excellent. Oh, crap. 1.
Okay, the Minotaur's blows begin to rain on you, and Mark Abner is in the rear, yes?
Yes, he is.
All right.
Good luck.
Probably had both of his bodyguards in front of him, so that doesn't work out well.
It does not.
At least you got pseudo dragonate hit points.
Yeah.
You take 4 points of damage. Your spell is spoiled. Correct. Your pseudo dragon is on the wing and chittering madly. Over on the flank, let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, this one is coming at Sir Outlier. And that is a miss. And up front, this thing is looks haggard and very weakened, but it will lash again at Doomsword. And a miss. So I didn't get I didn't do too much to you guys. All right, counterattacks.
Okay. Well, I'm still using that bill because it's just what I have in my hands.
I'm gonna let Cork take this guy out that we're dealing with. Moment of glory, my friend.
That is a 17.
That is going to hit.
Okay, and
large. Yeah. Go ahead and roll your damage.
It's 1d12 for a longsword on large.
Yeah, so it's 3 to 14 with this thing. So 1d12 plus 2.
And then 1 for my strength. So okay.
Wow.
That 12 plus 3, 15.
Whatever is the most destructive way you would like to describe the ending of this Minotaur's life happens.
So lots of steaks for everybody.
That works.
It's not cannibalism if you cut away the right parts. Okay.
Yeah, we got to eat the bottom half, right?
That's entirely up to your characters. So on the flank, I'm going to Darawesh over there.
My dog misses with an AC 9. I hit with like an AC -3, and well, actually, it was 17 plus 3, so whatever math. Anyway, I know it hits, and 17 points of damage.
Okay, Darawesh also hits and does 6, so you did 17. Let's see.
Yes, I had to make sure I did my math right.
Okay, this one appears to be just kind of barely hanging on also, but it is still alive. Your bodyguards turn around after, this Barty slams down onto your shoulder. One of them says, "Look out, sir, a Minotaur!"
Good job.
I'm paying you nothing.
And my target, which would have been my target on my turn, basically got obliterated.
Yes.
Yeah, so is there anybody else I can at least move towards that I have room to attack in the next round? Or should I maybe spend my time?
There's a thin layer of 0-level fighter and magic user between you and an angry Minotaur to your rear. Just let you know.
All right, well, I won't search the one that we downed. I'll yell out to Abner to try to get out of the way, and I can take his spot.
Don't worry, Abner is getting out of the way.
Assuming you can.
Okay, your pseudo dragon you get this image of him zooming in and trying to sting this thing, so it's clear that it's wanting to act on your and its behalf.
Thank you.
What outlier are you continuing to hack and slay at the flank?
Absolutely.
Darawesh is he's shoulder to about here on you.
Shoulder to skull cap.
Cork, you are bereft of targets. What do you wish to do?
There's no way I can get in on any of that.
It's the flank and the west are getting very crowded.
Okay.
The one in front of me is going to be dead here in a sec. Guard that way, because there might be another one.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna lay hands on Abner and give him 4 points back.
Gotcha. Okay. Then Baron, why don't you go ahead and roll initiative, please?
Okay. That's a 6-sider, right?
That is correct. That is a 6-sider.
A 2.
It is tied. This thing is swinging a polearm, so it is going slower. Well, they're both swinging polearms, Bardishas, so they will go after you guys, except possibly Outlier's two-handed sword.
I'm using my bill still. So here's the big question: is a geese arm Volge faster than a Bardiche?
Look that up.
In Gygax's highly educated opinion.
That is why we be very careful where you tread, sir. That is why we go to the player sandwich. So let's see. Bardiche is
9.
Speed 9, and a
His arm Volge is a 10.
Is a 10, so he will actually land his blow just before you. You're both kind of rearing back and winding up, and so is he. But a longsword will go first. So,
and my dog's bite will.
And your dog's bite absolutely will.
Also, I think I'm the only person in this call that has used both of those weapons.
Darawesh misses.
Darvish and
Your dog.
My dog is 15 total, which is if he's fighting as say, I don't know, a first 0 level fighter.
Well, how many hit dice does he have?
2.
2. So
one. Yeah, because he's 1 plus 3 hit dice.
Yeah, that counts as 2 hit dice. So we treat this as monster versus monster. And he rolled a total of what?
15.
15. Your dog leaps up on your shoulders and lunges forward and bites this thing on the femoral artery. Roll its damage.
1.
Okay.
Nibble.
He's latched on. There's a gout of dark minotaur blood comes out, and this thing is bellowing and honking, and he is swinging at you, actually. And that is going to hit, and you are going to take that is going to be 4 points of damage.
Okie dokie.
And to the rear, are your men-at-arms fighting?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Spears. I will roll for their attacks. 1 hit at 20. Natural 20, so I probably hit.
It does.
And it does 6 points of damage.
Okay. He jabs it with his spear. You just see this kind of red-brown blur zing past this thing, and the Minotaur stumbles and falls forward on its face. Let me see here.
Well, I will say Gygax is right there. With how thin and light the Bardiche is, it actually should be a little faster than that. But, oh well.
Let's see.
Gygas is right on everything, even when he's wrong.
Okay, that's valid.
He's right in multiple ways sometimes, depending on which part of the book you read.
Yeah, they're a lot thinner than people think.
Okay, so yeah, the Minotaur reaches up and swats at something, misses completely, staggers forward, and falls face floor on the ground and is snoring mightily.
He's been slept.
Yeah.
You know what your pseudo dragon is? He's been put into a catalepsy from which he will not awaken ever, if you guys wish, but 5 days otherwise.
It can be arranged.
Okay.
Good job, Crow. And Abner is petting a thing that you can't quite see.
Yes.
Camouflaged.
His hat.
You pet your invisible cat.
We're used to him congratulating himself, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Patting this long, elaborate feather on the side of his hat. So yes, there's you're all kind of nicked up in various ways, but the 3 Minotaurs all lie dead.
All right.
Fantastic.
I guess first thing, can I cast Cure on the thief then?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, and Abner gets 4 hit points. Lay on hands back.
All right, so that's 4.
I'm down 5.
Well,
so if
you
you're
get
cool
4
with using it. Okay, cool.
I'm down 4. You're down 5.
Cork, what is your god?
Hieronius.
Thank you. I'll give him coin when I'm next in turn.
It's always erroneous.
Always.
I'm going to search the Minotaur that's in front of me since I never moved away from him. You know, that first one that we killed.
Okay. A wicked sharp, but otherwise just serviceable Bardiche, and a loincloth that barely covers anything.
I presume I find the same.
Yes.
What's under the loincloth, though? That's the real question.
Things that will get us demonetized.
Yeah. I'm not signaling a field goal.
All right, well, we'll leave that alone so that I feel like less of a man or more of a man.
So leaving that topic aside, we had this eastern passage. It had a southeastern dip. That's where one Minotaur came in and attacked us from the rear. There was a south passage where the Minotaur came up to our flank, and the eastern passage. I'm wondering if those two southern passages meet up. Maybe meet up with.
That's what I was thinking.
So there might be one room that they all came from.
Yes.
Right.
Which one do you think we should investigate first? 1, 2, or 3, basically.
I'll say 2.
Okay, that's the southern passage with that
Right.
attacked on our flank. Let's see what's down there.
Okay, so that literally just goes like 20 feet to the south, and then there is a branch back to the west and a narrow passage that goes to the east.
Gotcha. That's what we were thinking. Good.
Okay.
Right.
And let's go to that east and see if it hooks up to the bigger east passage.
Yes, sir.
It does. When you go east by literally just like 8 feet, maybe, it continues on, curving to the southeast, sharply more to the south, but to the left, it looks like it opens up into the chamber that the first Minotaur leapt out of.
You ever explore a map, like you have to fill in the whole map, like say in Minecraft or something? That's what I feel like we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, I made a comment about this being a maze, and then a Minotaur shows up.
Yeah.
Hey, this is their ideal
Good
environment.
point.
So,
All right, what about door number 3?
well,
Right.
So the southeast passage connects with the south passage, which connects to the eastern passage. That's all together. There's a southeast passage. There's one more here.
I'm going to be a mensch, guys.
Just give us a map.
Yeah, since you guys have slain the Minotaurs, I'm going to share just so our probably very confused audience can get this too. I mean, I guess a more advanced person would have electronic maps and such like everyone could see. But
is this the first we see of the Castle Greyhawk maps?
I've shown you guys little tiny bite-sized pieces before, but caves are so hard to describe. I've done this for my at-table groups because Dwarven Forge is only so flexible. So what
I
I've
done really hard and heated up, you know.
Well, this is where graph paper and like the silicone playmats I use reign supreme, because it's just doodle.
Yeah.
And you just draw it out.
Okay.
This is a momentous occasion. Look at that.
Boy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've seen one like it before.
So here,
I recognize that.
see my cursor is where you came in.
Okay.
This area is where you just fought the Minotaurs. This is where the first one came from. And then you've got all these twisting corridors that terminate, they all kind of come down to here.
Gotcha.
This C. So
It explains my confusion.
Yeah.
and
I
I
this with the race before too, right? One other time, you showed your graph paper map.
Oh, yes. I showed you the graph paper map when you were near the Wraiths. But for those of you at home, this is not the actual map of Castle Greyhawk. Yes, I have seen portions of that map. If you poke around the internet, you can find people, very surreptitious digital photos of it from events Gary was hosting at. This is whole cloth created by me when I had a baby on this arm and a clipboard with graph paper on my knee and a pencil in this hand, just to see if I could still be creative and take care of my now 19-year-old daughter. So
so you drew that 20 years ago?
Thereabouts.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
I guess we spent some time investigating this cavern.
So where you guys saw the sea, that's almost semicircular area, this appears to be the lair of the Minotaurs. There are heaps of skins There are various macabre decorations made of bones of various humanoids and demi-humans. There's something foul smelling in a crock that is sitting on a now cold cook fire. I mean, it's just it smells like a boiled troglodyte. Truth be told.
Wow.
Bet that 3-day-old rat porridge sounds pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Poking through their the skins, do they have any treasure?
You do not immediately see anything in the skins and whatnot.
Do I notice anything hidden amongst said stonework?
Okay. You do not.
I'm spending my time, unless anybody has any other idea or stops me, examining everything as closely as possible, prodding it with a pole and all that kind of thing first.
Well, don't take too long, but yeah.
Yeah, a couple of turns, 20, 30 minutes.
All right. So, Turgo's half elven, yes?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. So Turgo, after some searching, hang on, Minotaurs. You know what? I will take the undead Minotaurs idea. I will keep it right here in my vest pocket. I won't say no.
Zombie Minotaurs, they're scary.
You notice that in the back curve of the wall, there is a discolored stone slab.
All right. So that's basically what an examination of it. I mean, do I need to? That's just what I see visually. Does it seem like you think that I need to?
It seems like it's probably a secret door.
Right. So I'm going to look very closely at the stone and lightly run my hand over it and that sort of thing.
If you point it out, I can probably help.
Okay. You run your fingers over it. Yes, it feels like stone.
Outlier.
What
do you make of this?
I'll have a look.
I've spotted something.
Now that it's more evident to me, stonework wise.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course, here it's almost perfectly, but now that he's kind of disturbed it a little bit and pointed it out, it does stand out. Yes, that is some kind of secret door back there.
Okay. Do I have any clue as to its operation?
Hang on one second.
Mm-hmm.
I need to make a note.
I mean,
basically that's an open doors roll. If you want to try and open it, it's just a standard open doors roll. Is you're looking for a catch or something like that.
Absolutely. I succeed.
So you just kind of work your fingers in and find a catch.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to need Turgo and you to both make a save versus poison.
I'm good at those.
Green gas billows out.
Hey!
I'm good at rolling.
I succeed. I roll above a 4.
Save versus poison is a 12 for me. Come on, big money. 13. I got a 13.
If
it makes you feel any better, I need a 4 to win. I rolled a 5.
Same deal.
Yeah.
The powder that is under high pressure jets out from the seam of the door when Outlier grabs what he thinks is the catch. There's an ominous click. The dust billows out, covering both of you, but you manage to not breathe or blink any of it in. You can kind of, it tingles on your skin and not in a pleasant way.
Yeah, I slap Outlier in the chest. I felt it less than you did.
Okay. Yeah, the mood enhancement, brooding and contemplating the universe from the afterlife is what it would have been.
Yeah, as long as it's not Dust of Love or some shit.
No, it's nothing good. It's nothing good. In fact, you know that this is probably some kind of inhalant type poison. It would have killed you dead if you'd gotten a good lungful of it.
Tasty.
Yeah, no, not good.
All right. Do we see anything now that the trap has been sprung? Thief.
That weren't me. That were you. Next time, before you touch something, I'll check. Yeah, but however, the trap was probably behind it anyway, and would have been undetectable.
By the time I'm called forward, I expect you to have already checked it that it was trapped.
There
it was
two large leather bags and a wooden coffer are in this niche.
Nice.
Yeah, and that coffer's closed. Does it appear to be latched or locked or anything like that?
There's a simple latch. You'd have to turn the knob to open.
I'll check this out, Outlier. You look at the rest.
I'll poke my head in the bags.
Okay.
Well,
just
not head first, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, you're a dwarf. You can tell the difference. One is full of actual silver, and the other is full of electrum, which is silver with kind of a rainbow sheen to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll take the sack of electrum and make somebody else carry the silver.
All right. Each of the sacks weighs about 100 pounds.
Woo! I can carry that.
Nice.
Actually, I can carry both.
I can carry one if you need me to.
I got 3,000 coins of weight I can carry.
That's a lot.
That's why I said I can carry both.
Well, without dumping your movement rate because of encumbrance,
or
is that like max load?
The note for my next to my gauntlets of ogre power here states plus 3,000 coins. That is literally as far a note I have there.
Yeah. Well, that's 300 pounds. You can push, pull, or drag. I'll give you $100 for it.
But yeah, absolutely. Because at 3/4 of that load, I'm considered heavy, I think. And I can carry up to half without penalty, really. So,
Okay.
Anyway, Paladin here. Merry Christmas. Take a bag.
Alrighty, so you have 1,000 electrum and 1,000 silver.
Nice.
Well, you think that it weighs about 100 pounds. So, and then there's the coffer, Doomsword. Turgo is checking that out.
Yeah, what I'd like to do, though, specifically, is move up to it carefully.
Okay.
Respecting the floor as I do so.
All right.
A knee, the left knee, bend down, examine the latch without touching it, using my eagle eyes to see if I see anything out of the ordinary. Look around the edge, all the way around the edge from the lid to the base, and see if I see anything out of the ordinary.
Okay. In the handle, right where the webbing of your thumb and finger would be if you grabbed it and twisted it, you see a dark spot that is neither tarnish nor dirt nor paint. You suspect it is a pinhole of some kind. Probably has a poison needle in it or a needle of some kind.
Right. Does it appear that I would be able to move out of the direction of that and open the latch, maybe say from a distance with my long sword?
That would be a disarm traps roll.
All right. Well, I'll do that if you'd like to roll it.
Okay, you think you're clear of it.
The thieves always think they're clear of something. And all right, I'll pop it open with the tip of my longsword.
Okay, there's a twang and something just catches you right on the neck. Give me a saving throw versus poison again. This is a 12 plus.
Fantastic.
Actually, important question, DM.
Uh-huh.
Does the descriptor of everything he just went through matter in your rules adjudication?
Of course it does.
I got a +1 to not die. Ooh, that's a fail. An 8.
Okay. Turgo calls out, boy, and falls over.
Well,
The latch, however, is sprung.
Abner quickly runs up to him. Is there any signs of life on Turgo, or is he just dead?
He is either dead or very sleepy.
well,
Anybody got that neutralized poison happening?
don't look at me. I'm not that level of cleric. I have slow poison.
Hey, yeah. Do you have it memorized?
Technically, no. I have 2 hold persons and a silence. So,
Damn it.
I do have a potion of greater healing we could try.
Yeah, that's not going to nullify poison, and you know that.
Otherwise, looks like our thief just died. Paladin, you got anything?
I got nothing. I can cure disease, not poison.
Ooh, good news though. Some weeks ago, now months ago, I brokered a raise dead agreement. So
That's right.
we can go resin back in Greyhawk for free.
Shall we take this coffer and Turgo and get out of town?
And again, I should point out the coffer is now open.
Yeah.
And what, pray tell, did our thief die for?
There is in the coffer. There is a fine suit of studded leather, and there is also a. Let's see, 1, 2, 3.
Is it man-sized?
Hang on a second. Yes.
Okay.
And there is a small shield which has heraldry that I don't know how to say emblazoned on it.
Okay. Is the shield steel, wood?
No, it's steel.
Roundel, I presume then.
Yes, he said it was a small shield, so it's probably.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I'll have my bodyguards take this. Take
have
this
your
coffer.
have your bodyguards carry the
Carry Turgo.
Hey, Paladin.
Yo.
Better do a good job of it too. This is BS, man.
You finally
guys
found a
better hook
trap.
me up.
Doomsword, you found a trap.
You did.
Finally.
Yeah, man. I was hoping it was gonna shoot into Abner's neck or something, or the paladin. Come on, man. I worked hard on this character.
But we'll have you back up soon. Well, that's why I asked the description. That's why I asked the description mattered, because with him using the sword, it never should have hit him.
The DM clearly didn't read my character background.
Nope.
That says at level 17, I fight the king of the great kingdom.
Or did he read it and then said, nah?
Such a lovely rendition of a furry version of your character you got done at Dragon Con. The custom miniature from Hero Forge.
Man.
Okay.
Turgo has a brother, and you guys know him. Just so you know.
Is his name like Rugo or what go?
Fergo, the first level.
His name's Pizza the Hut.
Mood.
So coming back to this, the plan is, I think, to gather up what we can, including Turgo, and get the hell out of here.
Paladin.
Yeah.
You have been promoted to trier of this new shield. Merry Christmas.
Okay.
Would you be so kind as to put this on and let me know if you explode?
Should we test magical items afterwards, please?
Well, he can test it on his way out of the dungeon.
Okay, the only thing you run into on your way out of the dungeon are two giant ants who steadfastly ignore you unless you want to attack them.
Oh, hell no.
Okay. You are out now in the pale daylight. Turgo looks sallow and his skin is drawn. The sallow is probably from the fact that he still has a light dusting of that saffron-colored poison on him, as does Outlier.
Yep.
So back to your encampment. You walk in with Turgo, and the men-at-arms sigh deeply and pick up shovels and head outside.
No.
No, not yet. Not yet. Do you notice anything different about the shield? Does it feel like do you feel more capable when waving it around?
It is incredibly wieldy and lightweight.
Is it better than your regular shield?
Does it feel better than my?
You don't know. I mean, it feels lighter than the kite shield you were using, but yeah. As far as better, it's.
Yeah, I don't know. If I swing a cudgel at your head, does that does that help?
You got to warn him a little bit first, otherwise you just hit him on the head.
I think it's when the dwarf
Boom, think fast.
When he sees the dwarf go out and then come back in with a pickaxe handle.
If you can dodge a dwarf, you can dodge anything.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's load Turgo back up in the cart.
Yeah, so it's we went down in the dungeon in the morning. It's halfway through the day, probably by the time we lugged everybody out.
Yeah.
So if we left now, we wouldn't get to the inn, and we'd have to camp outside. Can we? I don't know.
I don't know.
Keep them kind of fresh. And
I don't know what the time limit is on these raised deads. I'm not risking it. Let's go.
Okay. Then we won't even stop at the inn. We'll travel and camp and travel. Okay. Load it back up. And Stuart's like, I just unloaded the cart.
Yeah.
Load it back up.
I just pressed iron and sorted everything. I will be giving both Turgo and myself a bath, by the way. At least that way that way when we show up in the town, we're not showing up with poison all over ourselves.
Okay.
Doomsword, you're trying to pull the it was all a dream. And you were there.
You were there. Yeah.
I'm gonna go to all the AD&D 1E build guides or whatever. If this guy dies, and I'm gonna make the DM pay.
Yeah.
See how that works out for you.
I've actually I've seen some nerd rage on Twitter because Polygon has apparently been publishing articles with a few different gaming news websites, and when you go and you look at them, they're not. Look, I'm sorry, fellow grognards, we cannot lie. We must tell the truth and be outraged about the things that we should be outraged about, not just clickbaity stuff. Because there's articles on on these websites that are like, 10 tips for Lost Mines of Phandelver, and of course the outrage is, oh my god, you shouldn't have cheat codes for a module. It's not. It's DMing tips, and I read through them, and they're actually good and applicable to running games of all stripe for all editions. But yeah, I would suspect that soon there's going to be build guides and stuff like that out there for latter edition D&D. Fortunately, there's not such silliness for AD&D. 4d6 arranged to taste. Otherwise, you take what you get.
3d6 down the line.
I can hear Kyle's teeth clenching from all the way in Australia over standard TCP/IP when I said 4d6 arranged to taste.
I take 46 best 3. It just saves me from having to write died at birth a bunch.
Yeah, you'll just re-roll.
Okay, so that's interesting.
Oh, I don't like that.
So as you guys are going through the marsh, it is in the evening.
And we get eaten by trolls.
No, I'm not cruel like that.
We fought a troll when we were level 1.
In the gloaming, I love that term. In the gloaming, you see a winged leonine figure swatting at a pool.
Again with these dudes? How many sphinxes?
There's a spot. It happens. Do you stop to conversate or just carry on?
Carry on. I'm sorry. You're describing a sphinx, correct?
At this distance, you don't know. It is a winged leonine figure.
To me, that just sounds like our 4th sphinx.
Yeah, keep going.
Or the god.
Yeah, the Lamasu.
Yeah, them.
Yeah, you know what the problem is with Greyhawk Castle is all the damn sphinxes. Let's keep going.
Yeah, right.
Too many damn sphinxes.
They're taking our jobs. They're moving in. They're raising the property value.
So you guys aren't stopping to talk. You're not engaging it in any conversation.
I'm gonna just smile and wave.
Okay. I cannot do a Brian Blessed impression, but imagine him saying, "Hello, sons of men, sons of the earth, where do you be a-going?"
Please walk with us. We are in great haste. Our friend is dead.
Oh no, that is terrible. He is walking along with you, and with your charisma bonuses, you are a most interesting son of the earth.
Thank you.
How did your friend perish?
Covered in poison.
Ha 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 ha! Why, you foolish little digger! He is not dead!
Oh?
No, he is merely under the grips of some kind of poison.
Can you cure him of this poison?
Perhaps. Do you have anything to offer in exchange?
My undying gratitude.
Then that will be enough. He says, "Remove him from the cart."
Sure.
Absolutely. I'll lay him down. I will also promptly part my feet and hold my polearm. In as friendly a way of "I will cave your head in if this is a joke" kind of stance.
Okay. He seems to not notice it.
That's fine.
He kind of eyes him up and sort of inhales a big lungful of air. And as he begins to exhale it, he's muttering it. And the muttering, even though it's words, it sounds like the onrushing of like 1,000 herd beasts getting closer and closer. And it culminates with him yelling in common, "Wake up!"
Mood.
All of you are like, "Ow." Turgo, you are hit with a neutralized poison spell.
Sweet.
and you're like, latch. You're not in the dungeon.
I will pour that man a bowl, and not the one on the ground, not that man, the one that was just screaming, a bowl full of whiskey, and offer it to him.
Okay. He gladly accepts your bowl full of whiskey. His claws are prehensile, and he picks it up.
I figured it'd be easier.
That hits the spot. Now, anybody that thinks that this is just the DM going soft, I rolled 3d10 for half the day's encounters as their journey. I rolled a 1. I rolled sphinxes. I rolled on the sphinx subtable, and it was an androsphinx. They're chaotic good, and they can cast cleric spells as a 6th level cleric. So,
which is brilliant.
Up to 6th level cleric spells, rather. So you're good.
Oh wow, there's actually a big difference there between 6th level cleric and up to 6th level cleric spells. Okay.
And when he said anybody, he meant Kyle. He's not soft, Kyle.
Yes.
Didn't pay him to live.
Well, of course, that's what you'd say.
It is, isn't it?
Well, do we want to now turn our wagon around?
Where are we at?
What happened?
Turn the around, go back to the captain.
And then light.
Turn
And then darkness again.
Every now and then we get a little bit poisoned and we find you're never coming round. Turn around.
All right.
Abner's just shaking his head. He's like, what the hell is going on?
How far did we get?
You're.
I just got some studded leather though.
Yeah, you estimate you're about 15 or 20 miles away. It would with a cart and whatnot, it would take you probably till dawn or a little thereafter to get back. It would also take you to dawn or a little thereafter to get to the Last Chance Inn.
Back to the longhouse.
Yeah, might as well go back to the longhouse then if we're halfway. I would think.
Yeah.
Abner needs his beauty sleep in order to regain spells.
You can sleep on the cart.
Yeah. That doesn't. But sure, yes.
So for those of you wondering what the what the Androsphinx might have looked like, something like that.
Yeah.
It's about right.
Well, he's already lion-like. He has the mane. Now he just has wings.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally next to no difference. So,
except for maybe the Sphinx wasn't a suit.
Could be a well-dressed Sphinx.
Yeah, no suit, no suit.
You do know that every girl crazy about a sharp dressed Sphinx.
Thank you.
Okay, so Turgo, you want the studded leather. We can leave the coinage, etc., in our now warded lockbox and feel pretty safe that at least the first kobold that touches it is going to explode.
Did you say that out loud, by the way?
What? Leaving the silver in the lockbox?
No, just the exploding kobolds. Just what this discussion. Are you having it out loud, or is this out of character?
No, 100%.
Okay. The Androsphinx laughs again and says, "Exploding kobolds! I should like to see such a thing! I cannot stand the little dog men."
Then I have a gift for you. This will
really?
This will be my way of saying thanks. I'm going to cast Glyph of Warding on that whiskey bottle.
Okay.
All you have to do, get your nearest kobold, have them open the whiskey bottle.
And what if I want to open the whiskey bottle?
I will give you a password, which I will then give him. And unless you wish to zap yourself for your own amusement, I would recommend you use said password.
I do not wish to zap myself. Ha 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 ha.
Otherwise, there's a thank you present for healing my friend.
1,000 thanks. Tell me before we depart. First, little digger, what are your names?
Well, mine's Outlier. Oh, wait a second. You wouldn't happen to be able to do resurrections, would you? Did I put you
No,
in for my cousin's bar mitzvah?
Alas, I cannot.
Damn, so you can't save my husband. Okay. Thanks.
Abner introduces himself.
Cork.
Yes, Cork, Abner, Outlier, and the dead boy. What is your name?
His name is muted.
Well, spit it out, son.
Mute. Mute.
He is, sir, not appearing in this film. No, I'll speak up for him and say the poisoned one is Turgo.
Ah, I see. Turgo the poisoned. Okay. Well, he takes his whiskey bottle and he takes his leave.
It'll be fun at parties.
The Brian Sphinx does have wings. He's a winged. He's a full Sphinx. Anyway, he asks you before he departs. Actually, he says, "Do you know where there are females?"
There was weren't there 2 in this area at one point?
I believe
Yeah.
we found a couple.
Abner flips through some old journal that he keeps. It's
Oh,
like
he's headed Horizon. He's not.
because this is not the first lonely Sphinx we've met.
No.
Not only is there too many Sphinxes here, but they're all like singles.
Also,
They need us to do matchmaking. It's like hot Sphinx
Yeah.
singles in your area need to pop up on their browser.
I thought male sphinxes were the evil ones.
No.
It's like speech Sphinx Madison or something.
Hirako Sphinx are the evil ones.
Yeah.
Males are good. Creo and Gyno Sphinxes are neutral.
The crocodile-headed ones are neutral? No, I'm thinking of later editions. Never mind. Okay, so I guess let's turn around every now and then. We get a little bit, and we're going home.
Okay. You're going back to the Longhouse.
Yes.
Home, yes.
Okay. All right. So you mosey back to the Longhouse. Sorry we missed your great dialogue there, Doom Sword.
I assure you it was excellent.
Of course. All right, and so you find yourselves back at the Longhouse. It is just before dawn. The men at arms are exhausted, and they say unequivocally, "We will unload the cart
In the morning.
later." And they collapse on their rucks. They basically they lie down on the bracken and so forth that they've have for beds and pull their cloaks about themselves. And as you're all kind of watching them one by one, they're all softly snoring on the floors and beds of the long. Okay. Well, as it is just 10 minutes before the top of the hour, unless anyone has any extremely pressing stuff that they want to do, I think we'll go ahead and break it off here for the week.
So we had
Yeah,
1,000. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. So yeah, I was just basically poisoned. No constitution loss, no death, no nothing like that.
No. He got to you. I mean, if we treat hit dice as levels, he got to you in plenty of time, dude.
All right, cool. Thank you.
And I look, for going forward, I'll just say that this guy was enough of a badass that he could cast a 4th level cleric spell, but that was my mistake. It is as a 6th level cleric, which just means a bunch of 1st, 2nd, and 3rd level spells. But I made the mistake. I'm going to let it stand this time. But going forward, Andros Sphinx cannot cast as a 6th level cleric spells, up to 6th level cleric spells. They can cast spells as a 6th level cleric.
Yes,
yeah.
and going forward, if I find a trap on something like that, the paladin opens it.
Well, he does have the better saving throw.
Well,
that's what I'm thinking.
I have a question.
Yes.
Abner, can you learn Mage Hand or some minor thing thereof?
One would be able to do so at a later time, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Unseen Servant would be the AD&D spell you're after there.
The best thing there, then, have the Unseen Servant do it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So you have your 2 big bags full of coins, or you reckon they're full of coins, and you guys are. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say. I guess we have plenty of time to count them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we'll go ahead and break it off there. I want to thank my audience. Thank you, everybody who showed up to watch the AD&D game. I appreciate it. Sorry for the little hiccup. Those of you, any fellow grognards who are out there screaming at your TVs or your computers or your phones, it's not as a 6th level, or it's as a 6th level cleric. It's not 6th level cleric spells. My mistake. But otherwise, it was by the chart. So whatever. To everyone else out there in TV land, please, if you're carrying on and you have holiday stuff to do, have a happy Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful one. I think we're playing some Classic Traveler tomorrow night, folks. Classic Traveler solely. Thursday night, guess what? Won't be here. You'll have to watch reruns. Sorry. And then Friday night, we'll see. We'll see how full of pie and turkey and eggnog everyone is. So to all of you, from all of us, peace and be good to each other. And we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.